Well, hi, here we are in a quiet place of recreation where you can hear a pin drop, aka a bowling alley. And of course, bowling alley is where we find Kelly Saperja and Ron Metcalf from the Lions Club in Moose Jaw. And Kelly, of course, is one of the people who helps promote having White Cane Week. So Kelly, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much.
And Ron, thanks for driving him down here. And you're becoming a yearly occurrence, eh?
Yeah, that's my pleasure.
Now, Kelly, you're going to tell me about White Cane Week just a bit. Most people understand the significance of it, but if you want to just recapture that, that'd be great.
Sure. White Cane Week is an annual awareness event. This year it takes place from February 2nd to the 8th, and it is to promote what blind and visually impaired people can do.
That's for sure. And of course, the Lions Club connection with this is that one of the major things they support in the world is blind and visually impaired people.
That is absolutely correct. And in fact, it's been a big focus here in Moose Jaw for us too, with both clubs, the Early Bird Lions Club and ourselves. And White Cane Week, of course, is coming up next week. We have a fun bowling session with the Moose Jaw Lions on Monday, so we're looking forward to that. We'll probably have quite a challenge on our hands with some of the blind bowlers that we have. So,
well, Kelly was telling me his average is like 70 or 80, but he's been practicing at it. I'm not sure that the Early Bird and the Moose Jaw Lions Club members are going to have that success.
Well, I think you're probably right. You know, we usually have this fun bowling. One of the things we do is bowl blindfolded, and that's a real disadvantage, trust me, for us, because we rely so much on our vision, and these guys, I think, have a really strong advantage when it comes to that particular part.
You know, I heard Kelly was going to say that on this week he's going to actually bowl blindfolded too, so he won't have any advantage. Right, Kelly?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. See what happens in that regard.
Now, Kelly, you brought along some equipment and some stuff to tell me about, so I'll let you start off. What have you got in front of you? First of all, you got your cane.
Yeah. This is it, the folding white cane, and I also have here some bookmarks, I believe. Excuse me. And then we have some little brochures about White Cane Week, and also have some posters as well.
Now, the theme this year is that being the voice of blind in Canada is a lack of sight. It's not a lack of vision. That's the motto this year, the logo. What does that mean to you?
No, to me it means that even if you don't have sight, there's still a lot that you can do, and as long as you know what you want to do and you have a goal, you can pretty much get it done. It might take a bit of time, of course, depending on what you're doing, but there's always workarounds.
Yeah, and you yourself are quite a successful entrepreneur. You run a home-based business, which is now. What do you do in that music? Music is one thing, but you do other things too.
Yeah, I am a musician, and I also use that as part of my home-based business, which is called KJS Productions. Our website is at www.kjsproductions, all one word, .com, and basically I do a variety of different things. We do radio IDs, primarily for internet radio stations, but we've also done some work for some travel information stations across Canada, and that includes jingles, voice work, little IDs and stuff like that, and also there's also some product presentations that we've produced for companies to demonstrate their products. For example, in Quebec, there's a company called Humanware that produces talking book players for blind and visually impaired people, as well as a model, I guess, for people with dyslexia. And I've produced a couple of presentations for them.
And of course, we mentioned just skirting around the edges of music, but you're a keyboard player in music, and I saw your name on a poster. Tell me about that.
Well, coming up in February 22nd, at the May Wilson Theatre, I am going to be performing along with a very good friend of mine, Steve Palmer, and he has just released a brand new CD a couple months ago called Prairie Airs, AIRS, and on that one I actually did some backup playing for him on a couple of tracks as well. One has the accordion and another with the keyboard, and I'm going to be doing some backup playing and singing with him at this event. Plus, we're also going to have as special guests a group from Manitoba called Sister Rain, R-E-I-G-N, and there are a couple of sisters who play guitar and sing, where it sounds like it's going to be a really, really fun event.
And of course, that takes place in the May Wilson Theatre. Where can tickets be acquired, Kelly?
Oh, I
don't know.
I can't remember. I have to admit, but I know that they are available. I'm sure you can pick them up at the Cultural Center.
Yeah, then the box office is open 10 a.m. daily, except for Mondays. All right, so now you've been along district governor now for the Lions clubs this year, and what does that entail?
Okay, well, it's actually a district position. We've divided it up this year for the first time among 3 people, 2 vice governors and myself. We've split the travel because the district is very large. It runs from the Manitoba border to the Alberta border, and from the 49th parallel about halfway up Highway 11, and it has about 83 clubs. We really didn't want to finish our visits in April or possibly even May, so we thought, well, we'll gang up on it a bit and see if we can finish them a little earlier in the year. I just finished mine this week, and some of my compatriots are either very nearly finished or maybe a month away at the most. So, certainly better than we did. We were aiming for December 31st, didn't quite make it.
Well, the weather could have a little bit to do with that this year.
I'm sure it did.
I was just realizing one of my friends I work with in the cadet world, Herb Harrison, is very much an active member of the Lions Club out of Regina.
I know Herb very well. Yep.
He thinks the world of the program, and he's very actively involved in it at every level he's able to do. Are there any special things that the Lions are doing this year in regards to the line? Because sometimes you have different projects in place.
Yeah, I think basically all of them receive emphasis in one area or the other. Probably 2 of the big ones this year, as you may know, the CNIB building in Regina is being replaced. And what is happening is the local Lions clubs, that is the people in District 5 SKS, are raising money. The idea is to get to $75,000 US, and that will be matched by Lions International with another $75,000 for a total of $150,000. And I think the project is about $4.5 million. They had hoped to renovate the building, but engineers' reports said that really you'd be looking at a significant sum of money for further renovations down the road. They said you might as well just replace it now. So that's what they're doing on the same piece of property. And of course, dog guides are always a big thing with us, and that continues.
Yes, and of course, a lot of the other physical, I don't want to use disabilities, but physical limitations have picked up on guide dogs. And so you have guide dogs who are not just for sighted, for unsighted people, but you have them for autistic children, and you have them for all different kinds of things. So it puts a little bit of pressure there.
Added one, as a matter of fact, just this past year, and it was a diabetic guide dog. I think they've had them in the U.S. for a little bit, but they cost a lot of money there. They're free here, completely, including the training, the transportation down there, the housing, everything for a client that is chosen for them. And diabetic dogs are trained to recognize when your blood sugar is low and that you may go into a diabetic coma, and they will actually alert you in any number of ways, barking, licking, whatever. I know there was one dog that was actually brought in as a sight dog. Was for a diabetic person who was also diabetic, and the dog just sort of picked up, because the body chemistry is a little different, and just sort of picked up on this on its own. And the dog would not leave its partner, and I say partner in an advised way because it really isn't an owner, it's a partnership. And they would not leave that partner alone until they took their insulin. That's how dedicated that dog was.
That's great. That's really good. Now, Kelly, we're into our last 3 minutes here, so now we get a chance to review the information people need to know about White Cane Week. So, dates, and if there's any events, let's let people know them.
Well, White Cane Week is from February 2nd to the 8th, and we are having, of course, our bowling match between the Lions Club this coming Monday, the 3rd of February. And speaking of the Lions Club, we would very much like to thank them for all that they do for us. They help us a lot with bowling and other events we have, including there's also a cribbage tournament, I believe, coming up in March. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it for special events as far as White Cane Week goes.
And it's 1 week of the year that we get to focus on the fact that it may be a lack of sight, but it's not a lack of vision on the part of the people who are involved with it. Thank you both for taking time to come in today and talk about it. And I know that when you see a white cane on the road, just walk up beside them if you'd like to, and say, "Hey, we want some help across the road," and put your arm out, and they grab hold of your arm, and away you go. And much appreciated. And it's a small thing to do, but it means an awful lot to the people involved. So put your hand out and help somebody out. And thanks to the Lions for putting their hands out all year round to make these good programs. So thanks to Kelly and Ron for being here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about white something else, but it's white ice. So don't go away. We'll be right back.